Today, we're at the Upper East Side to see a very exciting group of galleries, starting with Van Doren Waxter Gallery to see works by LA-based artist Brian Rochefort. And I first saw his works at Massimo di Carlo in London, so I'm really excited to see another show of his in my own city. What I love most about Rochefort's work is his unique technique that he applies to ceramics. I've really never seen anything like it. The word organic describes his work perfectly, in my opinion. There are cracks and overflows and bubbles, all held together by his incredible use of color. And Rochefort is, quote, inspired by the natural beauty and forms he has encountered in immersive travel throughout South America, East Africa, and the Galapagos Islands. His intensely physical and tactile studio process and high skill in colorants and gradients, repeated applications of slip and glaze on hand-formed ceramic vessels result in work that suggest volcanoes, rock, and reef formations. While Brian is incredible when it comes to his use of color, I do love the pop of these monochromatic works on this wall here. It's kind of a nice surprise against all of the color that's used in the rest of the exhibit. We're now going to head up to Almine Rech Gallery to see an exhibit by Wes Lang. These paintings were inspired by a few different things, but the most obvious is this Native American figure, which comes from Lang's childhood, where he would often visit a Native American reservation on Long Island. And these paintings are a tribute to his deep admiration for the culture's spiritual practices. Lang has also outfitted these figures with faces of skulls, and this is a nod to Lang's obsession with death and the temporary nature of life. He's quoted as saying, "Death is a constant reminder to myself and the viewers to stay present and to do everything you possibly can to move your life forward in a positive direction while you've got the chance to do it." If you're wondering about the materials for this exhibit, these works are acrylic on canvas. We're now at Petzel Gallery to see an exhibit by two artists. This is a show by Zorawar, Sidhu, and Swainston. And I think it's really interesting to see how artists are responding to everything that we've been through over the past years. Some choose escapism, while others, like in this show, choose to relive it in order to process and analyze it. The exhibit is titled Doom Scrolling, which is, quote, the act of spending an excessive amount of screen time devoted to the absorption of negative news. Increased consumption of predominantly negative news may result in harmful psychological responses. And this is a spot-on description, I think, for what we've all been experiencing and most likely engaging in over the past few years. So this exhibit consists of 18 woodblock prints that depict moments in U.S. history between May 24th, 2020 and January 6th, 2021. And these events were chosen by the artist to, quote, convey the conflicts of ideologies, physical violence, and meanings of these events that are still being negotiated. The artists state that if we let them remain only as images we doom-scrolled in 2020, they become fixed in the past. We can be indignant or hopeful about them, but there's nothing we can do. By reconsidering them as montages, we are keeping them in the present as ongoing issues, keeping their meanings unfixed, and keeping open the possibility for real social change. Now we're heading down to Anton Kern Gallery to see 3 exhibits, starting with an exhibit of 11 works of acrylic paint and collage on canvas by the artist Chris Martin. And these works are all centered around the theme of the cosmos, so you might notice some constellations here. Upstairs is an exhibit of ink on paper drawings by Georg Baselitz, who is actually the father of Anton Kern. And this exhibit highlights everything Baselitz is known for, the inversion of the figure and the restless composition. He created these works from memory in one sitting in the summer of 2021. The third floor is an exhibit by Brooklyn-based artist Marcus Jahmal, and this is his first exhibit with Anton Kern Gallery, which is very exciting. We're now at David Zwirner Gallery, and their Upper East Side location is just absolutely stunning. I love this spiral staircase. Honestly, no matter what's on view, I love just coming here to see this gorgeous building. This is a show of rare works on paper by Hilma af Klint. And if that name sounds familiar to you, it's because she's known for creating some of the first abstract works in Western art history. The works in this exhibit were created between 1913 and 1915. On our way to Salon 94, we got a nice look at the Guggenheim. And speaking of the Guggenheim, that reminds me, back in 2019, they actually had a nice exhibit of works by Hilma af Klint, who we just saw. I saved the best for last. Salon 94 is one of the most beautiful galleries on the Upper East Side, in my opinion. We're going to start on the ground floor with an exhibit by Shawanda Corbett. And this is her first solo show in the United States. She lives in the UK currently. And its title is To the Fields of Lilac. And the artist states, quote, "I named the show To the Fields of Lilac to signal a continuation or a further narrative that thinks about what happens beyond Wade in the Water, the spiritual originally sung by slaves on their quest for freedom, and thinking about how water became a signifier for protection for the enslaved on their road to freedom." She said recently, "But what does it mean to actually be free? Are we really absolutely free in a capitalist neoliberal society we find ourselves in today?" And as you can see, the exhibit consists of paintings as well as ceramics. And the paintings are her translated memories from childhood. And these beautiful ceramic objects or vessels are meant to represent people and memories from Corbett's life. Now heading upstairs on another beautiful iron spiral staircase. It's definitely a theme of Upper East Side galleries. To see an exhibit by Daniel Hesidence titled Carrier. And these works are oil on canvas and are abstract with slight glimpses to realistic objects. You might be able to notice, I see turtles in that one. Some have dinosaur bones, monkeys, kind of just depends on where your imagination goes. But in general, Hesidence is inspired by objects of nature as well as our general evolution over time. So whether that be from the extinction of the dinosaurs to the ever-present threat of climate change. on the third floor of the gallery, there are two exhibits, starting with this one by Celia Vasquez Yui. And she's created these hand-formed ceramic vessels, which I will say, we've had the pleasure of seeing a lot of ceramic works today, more than usual. And these works are about how all beings have a mother spirit. And the material she uses for her works comes from river basins from all over the world, from as far as Peru. This is the final exhibit we're going to see, and it's actually a design exhibit that is a part of Salon 94's design program, but I thought it was nice, so I wanted to share it with you. And this is an exhibit of works by the late writer, activist, and artist Kate Millett. And these were created in the 1960s. These pieces were hand-carved. They're sort of anthropomorphic sculptures that resemble domestic furniture. And the reason for this is that Millett was a devout feminist who constantly questioned heteronormative structure, particularly when it came to the home, and in this case, furniture. So this is where I leave you. I hope you all enjoyed this glimpse into some of the exhibits that are on view currently on the Upper East Side in New York City. And if you haven't subscribed, please think about doing so. It'll keep you up to date on all of my videos that I put out once a week. And I will see you all in the next video.